Welcome to Sports Roundup on this Saturday night, September the 6th, 2014. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins here, and let's start you off at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, where the Boston Red Sox square off against the Toronto Blue Jays in the second game of a three-game weekend series at Fenway Park. And the Toronto Blue Jays got on the board first in the top of the first on a Dion Navarro double on the line drive to right fielder Alan Craig. Edwin Encarnacion scores and Adam Lynn the third, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Toronto Blue Jays here. But then in the bottom of the first, the Red Sox would tie the game on a distributor ground out on the second baseman Ryan Wiggins, the first baseman Encarnacion and Mookie Betts scores. Game tied at 1-1 apiece, and then bottom of the second inning here, Will Middlebrooks singles on a short ground ball to left fielder Kevin Pillar, and Matt Napoli scores on Alan Craig the second base. And it's 2-1 in favor of the Red Sox. And then Yoenis Cespedes in the bottom of the third, 34th double sees on a line drive to right fielder Jose Bautista. David Ortiz scores, and it's 3-1 in favor of the Red Sox. And then, bottom of the fourth, Christian Vasquez, 7th double of the season on a fly ball to left fielder Kevin Pillar, and Will Middlebrooks scores 4-1 in favor of the Red Sox. But then in the top of the seventh, the Blue Jays cut the Red Sox lead to 4-3 on a Colby Rasmus 2-1 shot on a fly ball to right field, and Danny Valencia and Colby Rasmus scores. But the Red Sox held off the feisty Blue Jays as they defeat the Toronto Blue Jays at Fenway Park 4-3, as they improve their record to 63-79 in the season here, as Clay Buchholz got the victory for the Red Sox to improve his record to 7-8 in the season here, as he had 6 innings pitched, 6.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 batted balls, and 5 strikeouts. And J.F. was solid loss. Next up for the Red Sox, they will wrap up their 3-game series with the Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon at Fenway Park with Ruby Del Rosa, the man for the Red Sox, and R.A. Dickey on the man for the Blue Jays here. Okay, let's take a look at the other scores around the majors here. Bottom of the second, no score out in Arlington, Texas, between the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners, tied at 0-0 apiece. Top of the ninth, San Diego Padres and Colorado Rockies, tied at 6-6 apiece. Bottom of the eighth, Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, tied at 2-2 apiece in the bottom of the eighth. Tampa Bay Rays nipped the Baltimore Orioles 3-2. San Francisco Giants edge out the Detroit Tigers 5-4. Pittsburgh over the Chicago Cubs 5-3 in the final 11 innings completed game as of September the 5th. Oakland A's over the Houston Astros 4-3. Yankees over the Kansas City Royals 6-2. Philadelphia Phillies over the Washington Nationals 3-1. Pittsburgh Pirates blanked the Chicago Cubs 5-0. Cincinnati Reds over the New York Mets 2-1. Cleveland Indians over the Chicago White Sox 3-1. And Atlanta Braves nipped the Miami Marlins 4-3 in the final 10 innings. Los Angeles Angels over the Minnesota Twins 8-5. And St. Louis Cardinals over the Milwaukee Brewers 5-3. Let's take a look at how we stand here in the Major League Baseball standings so far. Both Orioles have an 8.5 game lead on the New York Yankees for first place in American League East. Kansas City Royals have a 1 game lead on the Detroit Tigers for first place in American League Central. And Los Angeles Angels 6 game lead over the Oakland A's for first place in the American League West. National League East, Washington Nationals have a 6 game lead on Atlanta Braves for first place in the National League East. St. Louis Cardinals have a 4 game lead on the Milwaukee Brewers for first place in the National League Central. And the Los Angeles Dodgers lead is now 1.5 game on San Francisco in the National League West. And if the playoffs start tonight, the Los Angeles Angels will have the 1 seed, Baltimore the 2 seed, and Kansas City with a 3 seed here. And the Seattle Mariners and Oakland Athletics will play for the right to meet the LA Angels for the first place in the American League playoffs. And National League, Washington will get the 1 seed. Los Angeles Dodgers the 2 seed, and St. Louis Cardinals the 3 seed. And Milwaukee and Atlanta have a wild card to determine who will play San Francisco. The winner of that Milwaukee Atlanta contest will beat San Francisco for the right to beat the Washington Nationals for the National League West. The Pawtucket Red Sox will be again in their quest for the Governor's Cup on Tuesday night against the Durham Bulls after defeating the Syracuse Chiefs last night in Syracuse to sweep the series. The Portland Sea Dogs couldn't finish the job at Hadlock Field in Portland, Maine, as they lose to the Binghamton Mets 11-4. Game 5 will be tomorrow afternoon up at Hadlock Field up in Portland, Maine. Here. Okay, let's take a look at our college football scoreboard here. Alabama blanking Florida Atlantic 41-0. Missouri over Toledo 49-24. Kansas State over Iowa State 32-28. Oklahoma blown at Tulsa 52-7. Nebraska escaped the grasp of McNeese State with a last-second touchdown 31-24. Wisconsin blown at Western Illinois 37-3. Clemson blown at South Carolina like a Clemson tornado 73-7. USC edged at Stanford 13-10. Ole Miss thumping Vanderbilt 41-3. Oregon over Michigan State 46-27. Arizona State over New Mexico 58-23. Auburn over San Jose State 59-13. South Carolina over East Carolina 33-23. Louisville thrashing Murray State 66-21. LSU blanking Sam Houston State 56-0. At halftime, Texas A&M 31, Lamar 3. Florida State over Citadel 37-12. Baylor over Northwestern State 70-6. Notre Dame blanking Michigan 31-0. North Carolina over San Diego State 31-27. Virginia Tech over Ohio State 20-21 with 69 seconds left in the fourth quarter. UCLA over Memphis 20-21 through halftime. Tennessee over Arkansas State 34-19. Illinois over Western Kentucky 42-34. Central Michigan over Purdue 38-17. Rutgers over Harvard 38-25. Penn State over Akron 21-3. Army over Buffalo 47-39. North Texas over SMU 43-6. Connecticut over Stony Brook 19-16. Navy over Temple 31-24. Mississippi State over UAB 47-34. It's South Alabama over Kent State 23-13. New Mexico State over Georgia State 34-31. California over Sacramento State 55-14. Utah over Fresno State 59-27. Washington over Eastern Washington 59-52. Colorado over Massachusetts 41-38. Kentucky over Ohio 20-3. Virginia over Richmond 45-13. Oklahoma State over Missouri State 40-23. Iowa over Ball State 17-13. Minnesota over Middle Tennessee 35-24. Northern Illinois over Northwestern 23-15. Eastern Kentucky over Miami of Ohio 17-10. Maryland over Southern Florida 24-17. Bowling Green over VMI 48-7. Arkansas thrashing Nichols 73-7. Florida clobbering Eastern Michigan 65-0. Georgia Tech over Tulane 38-21. North Carolina State over Old Dominion 46-34. FIU over Wagner 54-3. Appalachian State over Campbell 66-0. Georgia 7 over Savannah State 83-9. Wake Forest over Gardner-Webb 23-7. Duke over Troy 34-17. Miami, Florida over Florida A&M 41-7. Kansas over Southern Eastern Mississippi 34-28. Louisiana Tech over Louisiana Lafayette 48-20. Marshall over Rhode Island 48-7. Southern Miss over Auckland State 26-20. Louisiana UL Monroe over Idaho 31-24 with 13:59 left in the fourth quarter. BYU over Texas 41-7. West Virginia over Towson 54-0. Utah State 40. Idaho State 20. Houston 47. Grambling State nothing. UNLV 10. Northern California 3. Air Force 10. Wyoming 7. Boise State 20. Colorado State 10. Oregon State 21. Hawaii 7. And UTEP 3. Texas Tech level with 3:53 left in the first quarter. Take a look at PGA Golf. Highlights here. Billy Horschel, a 3-stroke lead over Ryan Palmer through 3 rounds. In Cherry Hills Village in Colorado here. Okay, let's take a look at sports news there on this late Saturday night here. Upset Central in the U.S. Open semifinals here. Top seed Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer lose in U.S. Open semifinals here as Kei Nishikori, number 10 of Japan, beat top seeded Novak Djokovic and number 14 Marian Clicq defeated number 2 Roger Federer in U.S. Open tennis semifinals. The anticipation has been building for months ever since Derek Shea either made that shock in February, even that's what it will be his last season. In Richmond, Virginia, the heat was too much for Jimmy Johnson, and he was treated for dehydration after the 6-time Sprint Cup champion finished 8th in Saturday's regular season finale at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. Looking for a prediction of the U.S. Open women's final, it could be as bad as semifinals with Serena Williams and peak form and own an 8-1 record over Caroline Wozniacki. It should be at least a good match. With the Montreal Impact in the home stretch of the season to forget, at least one player has already winning off the current Major League Soccer campaign is what he turned his attention next to, which is Matteo Ferrari. Akron and Makarova and Lena Vesey won their second Grand Slam women's doubles title, and then Martina Hingis won at the U.S. Open. And in the MLS soccer scores, Real Salt Lake leading Dallas 2-1 with 89-51 left in the second half. Vancouver and DC no score for the 85th minute. Philadelphia Blanket Toronto 2-0. New York Red Bull over Kansas City 2-1. Then Houston 3, Montreal 2. That's going to be the sports roundup of September 6, 2014. I'm sorry, and I appreciate you with you for good night, and I'll see you tomorrow for an exciting day with football openers of the NFL and Major League Baseball. It's going to be an exciting sports roundup tomorrow. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Good night.